Hi guys, it's now the 5th of July if I read well, and the ISO that I just built this morning is the one from Cairo. I saw a message somewhere about Btrfs. You don't have the choice anymore. It's a personal ISO, Cairo, and I've explained you in about 5,500 videos. I've explained a lot of topics. And one of those topics is Calamares. And Calamares can be changed, can also build. If it sometimes fails in the live environment, you can actually build it. All you have to do is make package, right? Or in this case, actually, there is something called, well, first of all, keyboard, right? And then you build Calamares and then you wait. It takes a while. And they have a new version that's gonna launch on the live environment, right? That's where we are, on the live environment, not Erik, I'm a live user. But Btrfs, back to the story at hand. There is something called the partitioning configuration. We need to partition things. And in here, I've made your choice. I can also add Btrfs to it again, right? Used to be that like that, so go compare with other configs that I have online on GitHub. Arcolinux is there, there's Carly, there is ALCI. All these projects contain the same configuration, and EverOS uses it, Garuda uses it, right? Go on the internet. So I just added this particular thing with a comma, otherwise we get an error and these quotes, and if we launch it, we get a choice. An extra choice that Cairo does not have because I don't want Btrfs, so I don't include it. The personal ISO is just what it is, me, right? But now I can actually say, just go ahead and format this as Btrfs rather than Xfce, and let's see if that works, right? That's the point of the video. I saw a post on the Arch Linux bunker. So that's a community on Telegram, and somebody is trying to build an ISO based on Cairo, just like we've shown you in the videos. If we go to Brave, right, then you find information on the arcolinux info, where we leave you with the last personal ISO with my choices, all of my choices, and none of the other things, right? You can either download things, you can build things, and this morning I built one. It's on GitHub. All the information is here on Cairo Dupes. We don't need a lot of repositories to get things rolling. And in here, we also explain you that you can build your own ISO, which we've called, by way of example, Buildra, right? Based on Cairo. And it's just a video of, I think a few hours. Let's see. Of 3 hours. And in 3 hours time, you've got yourself an Arch Linux distribution just for you, right? So here's the amount of time, 3 hours and 4 minutes. Everything is available online. Go and have a look. So somebody wanted to have something similar, but then Btrfs. Let's see what happens if I only change this on the fly in the live environment. What you need to do, of course, if you want to have this thing forever, never, never, exactly do what I did and change the code. So this means that you need to go in here, give it another name like Buildra Calamares configuration, something like that, right? Awesome Calamares configuration, whatever you want to call your distribution, and go in here and go change that particular thing that says you need to be Xfce, right? Default file system says Xfce. So you can actually change this line and say this needs to be Btrfs. And this also Btrfs, and done. And you have only one partition scheme, or how do you say that, configuration. All the rest, it's gonna continue doing things. Let's see if this actually works, right? So it's not my cup of tea having Btrfs. Boy, it's fun. It's a 4 minutes video in the video here. It doesn't require me a lot of time. Just changing a few letters there, changing Xfce to Btrfs, and do we get something, right? Can we boot up? Is there something? So a lot of old code of arcolinux is still in there. So Why wouldn't it, right? Why wouldn't it just do its work? I did not remove things like those settings. I could have, right? I could have, but just went for X4 as the default. But can we boot up, right? Is there a problem with Btrfs? Let's log in. Okay. Now, what's not available is all the apps, the applications that guys like Garuda, for example, have. There's Snapper and all those things. So if we go and have a look at Duff, for example, make this again. So a clear is nice to see, or a clean, right? Nice colors, and then Duff. So you see all the things there, the lines there, Btrfs, vvat, Btrfs. So yes, it worked just fine. We've got a Btrfs system. The only thing you need still to figure out is what do we have? What knowledge is there out there? What packages do we have on the internet for guys who want to have Btrfs? So this is Pamac AOR. Pamac AOR contains the Btrfs assistant, for example, coming from Chaotic AOR. Do you want this one or the Git version? And snapshots and Btrfs maintenance, grub Btrfs. This is system deboot. So have a look around. That's one thing, one source. The other source is probably the internet, right? So Ctrl-Alt-F launches Firefox, Arch, wiki, Btrfs, and read what those guys are telling you. You should do install Btrfs programs, file system. Are there any applications you'd like to have? Fine, have a look at that. Another thing I should look at is the GitHub from arcolinux, of course. We figured it all out already, and it's all online, right? It stays online as long as GitHub won't charge us. It's just there for grabs, which means in the Calamares setting, right? In the configurations of Calamares, we have, I think, pretty much anything is good, but remember that at some point in time we went for arconet, which means I would actually try to find the GitHub for arconet pro, and as you see, it's a different URL. This is the latest development, arconet pro repositories, and I would take this one. Calamares or Cala is enough. So these are the things we've used for Calamares, but in here, and that's the thing, in here is our choice of what do we install. All these net install things are starting to forget already, but one of those contains the list of, yep, the right one, the list of, if you want Btrfs, then you can go for timeshift. Then you install grub Btrfs, timeshift, and timeshift autosnap. If you say no, I'm going to go for Btrfs, but then the applications for from other distros, right? Btrfs assistant, Btrfs maintenance, snappack, snapper, snapper support. So have a look at those packages, or both, right? It's up to you. But we've made a distinction there, clear distinction. You decide what to use, test it out, put it on the ISO, put it inside the packages file, voila, or install it later on, as we could now as well, which I'm not gonna cover, but you have to find your knowledge somewhere. Here it is. If you go and have a look probably at Ctrl-Alt-T, let's see if we find yay and then snapper or something. So a lot of information here, tool for managing this and that, and then snappack, snapper tools. Look around, you see it's all coming from Chaotic AOR. But if you go into detail, you'll probably find out where the source is, or where you can find things, like maybe it's like a GUI, right? So you press number 4, you go install it. No, I wanna have a look. Is this, oh, this is already installed, so it's not built, right? It's immediately installed. That's not what I wanted to do. I actually wanted to have a look at the number 7 maybe. At the package build. That's also immediately installed because everything is AWAR. Here's AWAR stuff. Snappers, for example. But I just wanted to go to the source. You can see the source here as well. Let's see, Btrfs or snapper again. Snapper. What do we get? Oh, repository chaotic AWAR. That's the advantage of chaotic AWAR, right? It's all built. None of this is coming from the AWAR. None of it. It's already built, and you can find that it's coming from Cairo. That's what I wanted to point out, right? The source is this one. That's where the guys are who know, well, who've been using Btrfs for years, so they should know much more than us, right? Because of the experience with it. That's it for me. Having some fun, saying okay, Cairo can still install with Btrfs. Cheers.